And as a side note, this should have been a pop culture news item. Bobby Chambers actually did send me a link where there is discussion or talk that I think that New Mutants is actually available where you can actually pre-order it so you can watch it at home.
Really?
That did make a lot of noise. There's been some talk about it. It says New Mutants is headed straight to VOD, now available to pre-order on Amazon.
Oh, wow.
I'm bringing it up because I was thinking I have yet to actually go in and look and see if it's on there, but they're saying it's available to pre-order already. And because this film has suffered so many delays. But yeah, still, as of this article, there's still been no official. Update. Amazon Prime has now removed the pre-order listing and added the following statement. Our agreements with the content provider don't allow purchase of this title at this time. So maybe they jumped the gun and maybe there is something that'll be coming out later, maybe from Disney proper or their division of Fox that they own or whatever. I still think New Mutants already been
interesting. I wonder why they had that flub. That's kind of interesting. Why they put it out there and then realize, we're not supposed to do that. That's interesting. There's a story there somewhere.
I don't know. Yeah, I have the feeling that maybe that they intended to pull the trigger on that, and then maybe for some reason they decided to pull back. But yeah, Bobby, I did check it out. Of course, I just brought it up here on the show. But yeah, according to Amazon, there's an update, and they've actually pulled that pre-order listing down. And I would bet that too. I would bet that they basically just kind of jumped the gun. So
it's interesting. I wonder why. That's interesting.
I honestly don't think New Mutants is that film they should be sitting on unless it's really, really friggin' good. And they, you know what I mean? They want it in theaters specifically. But I can't imagine it would be. I mean, I want to see it, and the trailers look interesting, but I can't imagine it's that great. But maybe no one knows.
Know. Yeah. That's interesting because I would like to see that as well, and it does. And I agree with you because you've talked about this a lot. That it just seems like kind of a no-brainer to put it out there on one of the streaming platforms. Why not put it on Hulu? You know what I mean, or something like that. So I don't quite understand it.
It's the one Marvel production that's connected to Marvel because it's part of the X-Men universe. It's the one Marvel production that they could release right now in the midst of everything that's going on, and it would be no harm, no foul. Whether it wins and does well or loses and does poorly. No one would hold it against them. It's the last remnant of the Fox X-Men universe, so they're not beholden to do anything with it. But if it's successful, though, then are they put in a weird situation? Are they put in a weird situation where now it's going to be like, I'm wondering if that's what the issue really is. It's like they're like, well, if it's really successful, are we going to have to go back and try to kind of restart the Fox X-Men when we really want to put X-Men in the MCU? That's what I'm wondering, if that's part of the problem. Well, Steve, that's why I just take it. That's why I'm saying you release it right now. You release it right now in the midst of all the chaos. You don't even bother to try and put it out in theaters. You just release it right now. Get it over with. Because if you get it over with now, I think a lot of people would be like, oh, well, that was released during the pandemic. That doesn't count. You wait too much longer, and you still have the exact same problem you were talking about because people are going to want to know how it's connected.
Yeah.
So I think the time to release this movie, in all honesty, was probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I think that window is done. So if this isn't like a super great, awesome X-Men movie, they're still going to have the same marketing problems they would have had anyway. They're going to still have the same timeline story confusion problems of how does this fit into the MCU, doesn't fit into the MCU. Like they're still going to have all the same problems they had before. But literally, it released it 2 or 3 weeks ago. They might have a hit X-Men movie with the New Mutants. People might be celebrating the X-Men films a little bit more, you know what I mean, and kind of revisiting all that universe and maybe kind of saying their goodbyes right now, you know what I mean, to the X-Men universe and preparing to move forward. But you release this too close to Black Widow, You have the same problems of confusion. People are going, how does this fit in? Does this mean the X-Men are part of the same MCU? They're walking right into the trap anyway. Whether they're trying to dodge that bullet or not, they're walking right into it now. That's just my opinion.
That's true. No, that's true. I think that's true.